Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya dialogues. What I seek is justice, not vengeance, not revenge, simple justice, right? By any canon of law, this is justice, an eye for an eye. Suppressing the enemy, killing the enemy, denuding and degrading his will to fight. That is what the armed forces do. That is why you have the Rafales, that is why you have the ugly missile. For what? Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya dialogues. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Khalistanis have set fire to India's San Francisco consulate. Thankfully, the San Francisco Police Department came and it doused the fire. However, there is a lesson in all this. And I'm not going to dwell upon what the Khalistanis did because the media would have gone to town by the time my video is released and they would have already told you what has happened. But not many people will tell you what needs to be done. These Khalistanis work on the same principle that those immigrants in France are working on. Both lied and got citizenship of their respective countries, right? Both lied. I'm telling you why. First of all, let me tell you why do I say that the immigrants lied. They said, oh, there is a lot of problem, there is a lot of violence in the place where we were born, so we need refuge in France. I'm talking about the political refugees, or people who have taken political asylum. I'm talking about that. Many of them have been born in France. Many of them's parents have been born in France. But the same problem, the thinking is the same. It doesn't matter whether they were born in France or their parents were born in France. This is common amongst all. So maybe this guy comes from, let's say, Morocco, or this guy comes from Sudan or Yemen. He says, oh, there is a lot of problem in my motherland. I'm being persecuted and I need citizenship of France. All right. So what don't you like about your this? No, there is Sharia law there and people cut off hands and feet and there is violence. Now, these people come to France, all right, and they do exactly the same thing that they were complaining about. And it is fake. I mean, you want Sharia law, you have Sharia law. Why do you want to come to France and impose Sharia law on the French? Why do you want to burn buses and property there? Why? 300-400 buildings have been burnt. Why? Because this is what you want. This is what you want to do. This is how you want to rule France. One day you feel that your population will be big enough and you'll overwhelm the French and you'll take over. And then you'll make France into another Syria. That is all that you want to do. Or Yemen or whatever it is. Similarly for Khalistanis, they will lie. And many of them, you saw that famous video of Simranjit Singh Mann, that famous member of parliament. He says on record that I took money, I took 30,000, 40,000 rupees from every person and I gave them a certificate on my letterhead, the member of parliament letterhead, saying that this person has been politically persecuted in India and he needs political asylum. So people borrowed money, took money, gave 40,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees to this politician. And I'm sure there are many other politicians, he was honest enough to admit it. There are many politicians who just signed the certificates and the French government or the British government or the American government said, oh wow, we must help these people. And those people, those Khalistanis settled abroad. Because the Khalistanis, generally, if you see their profile, I'm talking about Khalistanis here, they have no skill set. They have no skill set, right? Most of them are not qualified. Because they know that there is no way these guys are going to land up in a foreign country where meritocracy works. They'll not be able to survive. The only thing that they can do is play the victim card, which is fake absolutely. Right? But they have done it. Now I'm telling you what to do with these Khalistanis. The government of India must respond. And the response is, of course, a diplomatic sort of a response. That is one part of it. But these people, these Khalistanis are going to hide behind freedom of expression, freedom of speech. And it's okay to burn somebody's house. It's okay to burn somebody's house. It's okay to, say that, that is freedom of expression. That is how the Khalistanis like to express. They kill people, they burn people's houses, and that is how the Khalistanis express themselves. That is their expression. That is their language. So what is India's language? First of all, if they burn my house in San Francisco, and that consulate is my house, it's your house. If they damage my house, why is the Khalistanis' houses in India still standing? I'm not able to understand. This is question number one. If my house is burnt, why is their house standing here? An eye for an eye. What I seek is justice, not vengeance, not revenge, simple justice, right? By any canon of law. This is justice, an eye for an eye. And people say an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Mahatma Gandhi said, I don't care who said what. It doesn't matter to me. Let the whole world be blind, I give a damn. All right? So here it is. Number one, why are the houses standing? Number two, please get in touch with the local underground. Please get in touch with the local mafia. In San Francisco, in Washington, in New York, wherever you have your embassy, wherever you have your consulates. And this goes for the entire Europe. This goes for wherever the Khalistanis are. It goes for Australia, New Zealand, UK, all over Europe. Get in touch with the local mafia. Pay them. India has no dearth of money. India has so much of money. It has so much of dollars. Pay the mafia money and say that this consulate is your responsibility. Just pay them money. It doesn't matter. You have your people, you have your assets in place. I'm not asking the ambassador to go and make deals with the mafia. Of course, he'll not do that. It's not his job and neither should he. He represents India. This has to be done quietly. And we have the people who will do it. Just give a fixed monthly payment that this local consulate, this building in San Francisco, right? We pay the mafia. There's the Russian mafia. There's the Colombian mafia, right? There is the Mexican mafia. There is the local mafia of the US. There are so many mafias. Find out who's the biggest dog in that area. Give them the money and tell them that the next time Khalistanis come within 10 kilometers of our consulate, right? You do whatever you wish to do. Enhance security. Why was there no security outside? And why are the guards not armed? I'm telling you, you need to raise a special unit. A special unit. Armed. The Marines look after the United States embassies everywhere. You know, the US allowed the Indian consulate in San Francisco to be attacked. It was this same consulate which was attacked 2-3 months back also. They allowed it to be attacked. Would the Americans allow the American embassy in India to be attacked, in New Delhi to be attacked? No, there are Marines outside. There are Marine guards standing with automatic weapons. You try to enter, they'll shoot you. That's it. And this is exactly what you must do. You must put soldiers of the Indian Army specially trained. Give them the latest automatic weapons and tell them, anybody who tries anything funny, shoot. Just shoot to kill. That is what the Marines do. That is what you try entering by force any embassy or any consulate. Try. The Marines will respond with fire. India should do exactly that. Right? Ek goli, ek dushman. And that is sovereign Indian territory. The reason why I'm saying use force is that consulate, that embassy is sovereign Indian territory. And you just cannot enter Indian soil and cause mayhem. You know, these Khalistanis are mistaking decency for weakness. And if they have any doubts, it is incumbent upon the government of India to clear those doubts. We must respond to fire with fire. If Khalistanis understand the language of force, so be it. Now, there is another issue, big diplomatic issue, ladies and gentlemen, that is brewing up, and that is China. China has a foreign policy law now, and it says that sweeping foreign relations law enshrining its right to impose countermeasures against actions that it deems a threat. So basically, China is saying that, you know, the West, especially America and Europe, what they're doing is they are trying to decouple from China, which is their right. Coupling was their right, decoupling is their right. Now, what China is saying that we will impose countermeasures because Prime Minister Modi's visit, and this is a direct result of Prime Minister Modi's visit to the US. This has hit China very hard. Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States is like a tight slap to China across its face. It's like a huge slap on China's face, and the entire Chinese nation has woken up suddenly. Oh, who's this guy who's slapping us? The guy who's slapping you, his name is Narendra Modi. And I'll tell you what Modi ji has done, right? He has recognized that Chinese power comes from the Chinese economy. And the Chinese economy runs on American dollars. It runs on European euros or pounds for that matter. That is how the Chinese economy runs. Otherwise, China has nothing. China is a manufacturing hub and people give contracts. It's contract manufacturing essentially in China. And the theft of intellectual property rights, which is basic Chinese character. Steal everything, don't make anything yourself. Just steal it from people, steal their ideas and then stamp made in China. That's it. That's all China does. Anyway, so this is what has happened. And now China is scared that manufacturing will go out of China. So China says we reserve the right to take countermeasures. This law approved on Wednesday and entering into force from July 1st. It comes retrospective effect. It says from July 1st it comes into force, and It pushes back against what it sees as American efforts to suppress its development. Following US export controls on some high-tech goods and efforts to reduce reliance on Chinese supplies in sensitive sectors. So the Americans said to the Chinese, "You are thieves. You people are bandits. You're stealing our technology and we will sort of, not give you that technology." And China said, no, why can't we be allowed to steal? We are Chinese. It is our birthright. Our forefathers were stealing. We are also stealing. We are doing our family business. You have no... So they have got very angry with the Americans, the Chinese, okay? And now, the 2024 Republican presidential candidate, Nikki Haley, who's of Indian descent, she said that China has been preparing for war with the USA. And I think Nikki Haley is absolutely right. Nikki Haley is absolutely right. China is preparing for war against the USA. She said that astounding naval capabilities and advancement in military technology. Haley raised the issue of serious threats to the United States. If you look at the military situation, they now have the largest naval fleet in the world. They have 340 ships. We have 293. I would just like to tell Nikki Haley that this comparison is not entirely accurate, because many of those ships are small boats. You have 11 or 12 nuclear powered aircraft carriers. China has 0. China has 3 aircraft carriers, but those are diesel powered aircraft carriers. I don't think any one of those 3 aircraft carriers are nuclear. So in terms of capability, US is far, far ahead, but China is catching up. Let me correct Nikki Haley here. China is catching up very fast. And she also flagged authorities for increasing woke culture in the US military. She claimed that China is getting ahead of US in many important areas concerning security. They are modernizing their military. Our military is taking gender pronoun classes. Look at what they are doing on cyber artificial intelligence space. They are ahead of us. We have some work to do and we need to strengthen our military. We have to make sure we are right. Now, you know what Nikki Haley is saying? She has pushed all the right buttons, and I absolutely am in support of this lady. I think she makes a lot of sense, and I will tell you why. This entire woke culture in the military. I would request all of you to please go and see some UK, United Kingdom, that is England, their recruitment advertising campaigns. I mean, their recruitment campaigns on television are like, it's like a pride march, with that gay flag. It's like that. And nothing against gay people. Nothing against the LGBTQ community. Nothing against you. All the respect. I don't have anything in my heart against you. All I'm saying is that armed forces are not the platform to do all this. This she, her, he, him, I don't know what. Today in corporates they have started writing it. She, her, him, who, hai. What the hell is this? You can't do this in the military. Do it in the corporate sector. I mean, whatever gender, whatever you want to do. But in the army, it's kill or be killed. What do you think those generals do in the army, by the way? Let me ask you this question. What do you think those generals do? Right from the soldier. In India, we call him a Jawan. Right from the Jawan to the 4-star general, what is he doing? They are in the business of killing enemies of the state. Yes, a young major of the army will speak a different language because he's pretty junior, or a captain will speak a different language, and a general will speak a different language. A general may speak about socio-political impact. He may speak about geopolitics and foreign affairs. But in the end, it is that general's job to kill without mercy. That is what it boils down to. Killing the enemy, there is nothing else. Suppressing the enemy, killing the enemy, denuding and degrading his will to fight. That is what the armed forces do. That is why you have the Rafales. That is why you have the Agni missile. For what? I was reading somewhere in this book, and a very beautiful statement. And India said that Agni can also carry flowers of peace. That is what Dr. Abdul Kalam said, that Agni can also carry flowers of peace. And this American scholar writes very beautifully. He says, these are the Indians fooling you, Agni does not mean chrysanthemum. Agni means fire. Agni is the Hindu god of fire. So, you see, this entire woke culture in the US military, this has denuded the military's will and strength to fight. Because if you think Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, these are not places for everybody. Men and women fight together, and it is their right of women and men to fight together and defend their motherland. But if you get into too much of gender equality, you are diluting that strength. It is meant to be in a certain way. Please don't touch it. Thank God in India we are not afflicted with the same illness and sickness that is prevalent in the West. But the Chinese don't believe in any of this. The Chinese say the military is there to fight, to kill or to die. That is the Chinese military's motto. There the Chinese are launching hypersonic missiles. And here in the US they're waving gay pride flags. How are you going to win against the Chinese? And again, no disrespect to any gay person. No disrespect to you. All I'm saying is that the armed forces are places which are intrinsically built around the philosophy of violence. Without exponential violence, without the capability, let's take the example of the Indian Army, without the capability of the Indian Army to visit violence upon its enemies, without that capability, what use is the army? The Indian Army is feared and respected only for one reason, because they know that if the Indian Army comes, then all bets are off. And that sledgehammer every army must have. I mean, she's right. You know, this woke culture has set in the military in the US. And you must see these UK ads, the recruitment ads on television for UK, the British Army. They're so funny. They're so funny. I don't know what to say, because I don't want to be accused of XYZ, but they're very funny ads. I mean, what is the British Army coming to? This British Army that had conquered half the known world is today coming to this. Very sad. Very sad. Pull up your socks. Brits, pull up your socks. Otherwise, you won't know what hit you. Because the enemy is not wasting his time in any of this nonsense. The enemy is sharpening his sword. And the enemy is coming for you. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, press like. Don't forget to press the bell icon. And do subscribe to our channel. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.